Hi everybody, my name is Ellie Lee and thank you so much for clicking on this channel. Today we're talking about unworthiness. And if you're asking, how do you know anything about unworthiness? Well, I am in my 30s. I know, I look young. I'm in my 30s and I have lived most of my life in the vibration of unworthiness. So if there's anyone that can talk about unworthiness, it's my ass, because I really was just swimming in that hole of unworthiness. And for those of you out there who just feel unworthy in all aspects of your life, whether that's romantically, in school, in your career, in friendship, in money, whatever it may be, I'm here to tell you that you have the power to break through unworthiness and the illusion of it. And the more you give power to you feeling unworthy, you feeling undeserving, that's only just going to manifest more and more in your field, in your environment, in your world. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to choose the option of feeling unworthy anymore. That the other option is to feel worthy, and to really get there is definitely work. Okay, it's definitely time. Okay, it's definitely putting in the energy to really get to this place of standing in your worth and being like, don't fuck with me, because I know exactly what's up and I know exactly what I deserve. You know, we live in a world that makes a lot of money off of you feeling unworthy, right? So you're ugly, buy this. You're fat, go on this diet or buy this tummy tea. You feel like shit, go drink alcohol, whatever it may be, right? We live in a world that constantly tells you that you're unworthy. So you need to add a lot of external things to your plate to be in a place where you feel worthy. And I'm here to tell you that all of that is bullshit. Look at me straight in the eye. All of that is bullshit. And you are so powerful that the moment you start to understand that those are all illusions, that you don't have to live in a reality where you feel like you have to be prettier, or you feel like you have to be skinnier, or you feel like you have to be smarter, that I'm here to tell you that you can create a reality where you are so fucking worthy that everything you desire in this life comes to you with ease, because all you're vibrating at is of this place of, I know myself, I value myself, and everything that is great for me is already on its way, and I need nothing more, okay? Because all of my life, I've dealt with a plethora of problems, okay? And it always had to do with my looks. It always had to do with my body. It always had to do with my career and my status, and never feeling like I'm good enough, or I'm hitting the target, or I'm accepted or valued for who I am, right? It was always this constant pressure that I felt like, where I had to meet up to everyone else's expectations and then also blow them away. And it was never about, well, how do I feel about it, and what makes me feel good, and what do I value about myself. I mean, to be honest with you, I lived most of my life not even knowing what I value about myself. I was just always on go mode, right? And so when you're on go mode, you become a slave to society, and you become a slave to the demands of this world, because you're never working on yourself, because it's always do the next thing. What's the next move? You got to go to school, you got to go to class, you got to pay your bills, you got to do this, you got to do that, happy hour. It's like, it's constant, right? And now I think collectively, right, I think I can all speak for everybody, where we've been through a lot. It's really been a time of change for a lot of people, and thinking differently and feeling differently. Now, many people will take advantage of this time, right? And they will grow, and they will release, and they will let go, and they will find out who they really are beyond all the unworthiness, right? Or you can be someone who goes, F this, I want to go back to life how it used to be, and like rush and never think of anything, and just go and think about the future, and like right? I have chosen the path of really understanding who the hell I am, and how do I get to a place of true worthiness, and what does that look like for me when I unlock that portal, that reality. And because I felt so unworthy, right? And you know, I've been in the entertainment industry for like 13, 14 years. And so, like any other industry, you know, you're constantly in this mindset of like competition. You're constantly in this mindset of like, when I get that, I'll be worthy. When that happens to me, when I get that title, then I'll be worthy. Then I'll be this, then I'll be that. And then you realize the more and more you become a slave to this world, right, the unhappier you are. Now, if you're sitting there and you go, that's not true, money buys happiness, then this video isn't for you, okay? You on your own path, and I'm happy for you. But for the people that are really understanding what it means to understand truly that nothing external holds happiness and true joy, then stay, because you're exactly on my wavelength. You know, I always say this to my people that I coach on like self-love, I always say, you know, I've been around celebrities for a very long time, and I've been around very wealthy people. And I'll tell you one thing, you can have all the money in the world. You can have 12 hits under you. You could have 30 great movies. But at the end of the day, none of that stuff really brings true joy. You know, Justin Bieber has a song called Lonely, right? And the whole song is about how he's hit the top. He's been at the top, and it's so lonely that when you hit it, you look around and you realize you have nobody. And it's such an important message because we're inundated with so much noise that tells you that the only way you can achieve true happiness is if you get this, if you have these many followers, if you buy this, if you make this kind of money, if you make 30 under 30 on Forbes, whatever bullshit it is, right? And I'm here to tell you that that reality needs to die, because that reality makes us all sick. And look at our society. We are very sick. And so when I started to really break through those illusions, that's when I really started to unravel. And I really started to understand that that has never been my identity, that I don't want to ever seek validation or worth from anybody else, any industry, any person, any lover, any friendship, nothing. And I want to know what it's like to really stand in my power, to know that everything that I seek outside of me, I've given myself. And that journey alone is really difficult, because you got to look at the parts that are unworthy. And what I want to remind all of you is worth doesn't come from clout. Worth doesn't come from whatever surface level trophies you have. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need any labels. You don't need anything after I am that has nothing to do with the true you, because you can sit there and go, well, I am an actress, or I am a Grammy winning artist, or I am a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, whatever it is. But outside of that, who are you really? And most people cannot really answer that question. And the unhappiness that the labels gave me just always felt empty. It always felt like there was nothing in there. You know, it's like when someone compliments you, right? Someone goes, oh my God, you're so good. And then they turn away, they turn around, they walk away. And for a moment it feels so good, but when they walk away, you're like, wait a minute, is that it? Can you keep giving that to me? Can you keep feeding that to me? And the more I was spiraling in that hole of seeking external validation, you know, to deem myself important, the more I started to understand that I needed to let go of all of that. And I need to find truly what it meant to give a shit about myself. Unworthiness comes from how much you love yourself. I mean, just straight up. And the journey of self-love and finding your worth is magical. And what happens when you start really stepping in your power and really creating boundaries and saying no, and really discovering the parts of you that have been hidden for so long, and really looking at your fears and facing the shadows, what happens is you start emanating a light and a vibration and a frequency that you've never emanated before. And then all of a sudden, people talk to you different, people look at you different, people engage with you differently. I really started to see that when I started really tapping into the true me. I wasn't attracting conversations or people anymore that made me weak or made me feel unworthy or made me feel insecure. I really feel like, even though I have a long way to go, okay, I'm in this place where I'm like, no, I'm not playing these games. Like, I'm not playing these games of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm not playing any of these games of like, oh, I mean, can you give it? I'm just not. And the moment I started taking my power back from the industry, from friendships, from past lovers, from my lover, from my bank account, from the banks, you know, even from like the government or whatever it may be, I started to really understand that I have the power to really become the greatest version of me, or to become the weakest version of me. And even though on the outside, I've always been like, in the inside, I was made of nothing. And now as I build myself up from the inside, everything else will come. You know, I don't worry as much about the external. And I say as much because I'm on the journey, okay? But you start to really let go of how much you want people to see you, or what you want people to think of you or say to you. You know, for so long, I was always afraid of judgment, of people having opinions on me, or thinking I'm this or thinking I'm that. And the more and more I step into my power, the more I'm like, I don't care. I literally don't care what Nancy says or Patty says or what Bob says or anything, because I'm like, hey, Bob, are you doing the work? Like, are you looking at yourself? Because if you're not where I'm headed to or where I'm at, then you have nothing to say about where I'm going and who I'm becoming. That's a quote. That's a quote. Because if you haven't been there, if you haven't tasted it, then I don't need your opinion. And yet think about how many people that you've listened to and you've let them tell you what to feel, how to act, how to be. Who are they? Who are they exactly? And why are they telling you those things? Anyone that's telling you what to do, it's because they don't know how to navigate themselves. It's called projection. And the more I started to realize that, the more I started to be like, oh, I see how this game plays. And so then I started really just exiting. I really started not only exiting out of friendships, I started exiting out of anything that made me feel low or made me feel like I wasn't worthy of. And the more I started to take those out of my energetic field, the more clarity I got and the more I could see. There's this very popular song, I Can See Clearly Now the Rain Is Gone, okay? Because the rain's gone and I see exactly who deserves to be around me and who doesn't. And I also know what to say yes to and what to say no to. I know where to create boundaries. I know what it's like to keep being in the vibration of worthiness, because I work at this every single day. Because the universe is always throwing me stuff. Be like, do you feel worthy? We're gonna throw you this scenario, or this confrontation, or this conversation, or whatever it may be. And I know that there are some times where, you know, an old part of me comes back, like rises up, and it's like, oh my God, Ellie, say this or do that. And then the real me goes, no. And I'm like, if that ain't growth, if that ain't growth. So I'm here to tell you that your worthiness depends on you. It depends on nobody else. You are the creator of your reality, and you will hear me say that a lot. A lot. You are the creator of your reality. So if you truly want to live a worthy life, then it's time to start looking at yourself, bro. It's just time to start diving into the inner work. It's time to start diving into taking time for yourself, being alone with yourself, understanding who you are. What are your values and beliefs? Who are you outside of the labels and the masks and all these things? And the more I discover me, the more I fall in love with myself. And I'm here to have truly the most beautiful relationship with me, because I am all that and a bag of gems. I am a gem. I am the gem. You get what I'm saying here? Let me know in the comment section below, have you felt unworthy your entire life? Does this resonate with you? And if it does, let me know. Don't let anyone F with your worth. Don't let anybody F with your worth. Subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I love you. Bye.